عندنا a lot of activities حلوة جدا.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still with you, celebrating International Women's Day, and we're very much honored to have with us here in the studio Mrs. Fáطمة برادة. She is the head of an NGO for street children. She will be talking to us about the role of women in building societies. Thank you very much, Mrs. Fáطمة, for coming today.
Hello. Good morning.
And happy International Women's Day to you and to all the women around the world.
All the women in the world.
Yes. Now, as we speak of International Women's Day and the role of women in building societies, I believe that women play a very important role in all aspects. But let's focus on one of these aspects, which is social activities, social work, and volunteering activities for charity purposes. How do you see that?
I was working at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, then I was working in a bank, and suddenly 20 years ago I began my charity project or activities.
Yes.
I began with my Rotary Club, then with my Inner Wheel Club. We do a lot of activity during all the year, and I think the woman is the backbone of the society.
Yes.
Because she likes to do charity work a lot.
Yes.
For example, we do operation for the children, heart children, in Abu Rish Hospital and in Bemناسبة Hospital for the children. And we have with us Dr. Amal Sisi. She's collaborate with us by participation. She doesn't take any fees, and she help us to do a lot of operation with her. We did this year, for example, 10 operation with her, and for example, in the beginning of the year, we go to the school to give them the bags for school, and during the Ramadan we distribute the food and so on. Of course, we have a lot of charity work with. And in بمناسبة and in Upper Egypt, we do a lot of charity work in the village. For example, we built a roof for them. They don't have a real home. For example, we participate in adding water for them. Every home to have his right to have a clean water in his house. What else to do? For example, we did 1 month ago a big charity work in the university. We collect clothes during all the year, and we do in the University of Cairo University a big bazaar, and we sell the item for 1 pound, 2 pounds, for example, and to help the people to have a nice clothes and to have a respectable, nice.
These are excellent ideas. Now, what were your main achievements in 2018, and what are your plans for 2019?
Now I am the chairman of the Hope Village for street children. This is the first one who is working with this kind of children in the street. 20 years ago, Mr. Richard is an English teacher. He was living in Cairo, and he noticed that all the Egyptians like to give money to donate for orphans. But suddenly he discovered that there is a problem in the street called street children. And he began with 7 children. And then we grew up, and now we have more than 100 child. The problem of the children is not to keep them with us. No, the main problem with us is to solve the problem. For example, of course, the main problem is that there is no family, because they get divorced. The father got married, the mother got married. She doesn't want to keep the child because she doesn't have any money. The father, he get married, and his wife, she doesn't want to keep the child. So the only solution for him, the poor child, is to go in the street. If we reach this child in the beginning of this stage, we can collaborate with him to solve his problem. If we are late, it's very, very difficult to solve his problem, because he gets used to have
a life in the streets.
Because
yes,
he likes
it would be easy to live in the streets.
Freedom. They like, even our children in this age.
So interference at a younger age is way better than
all of us in this period. We like freedom. We want to go to the street. It's quite normal. But if we did something new, it's a bus going to the street, and we can reach the street, and we offer them a food, a meal, a hot one. When the children stay with us and they found that we don't need anything from them, they get astonished, of course, because everybody, they want them for a certain reason, and they stay with us.
They want to exploit them.
And they talk to us, and we try to solve the problem. If we know the family, we are trying to go to the family and to solve the problem. For example, to do a project for the mother, we give him a loan, 3,000 Egyptian pound, and we begin to teach her how to do a nice project, because if she has money, she can keep the child with her. If she doesn't have money, she cannot keep her child. And we succeed with this kind of loan with the woman, and it was a very good success.
Yes.
And if we don't find the family, for example, we keep the child, and he go to the school, to university, and then he get married, and he come back again to us to help us with the new generation, because of course he can feel something we don't know it. Of course, for him it's easy to collaborate with the new generation of the street children.
Yes.
They come back again, and they consider us as the house of the grandmother, for example.
Yes.
It's his home. But he come and help us, and we do a lot of activities with the children. For example, we did football. They have a training for football, and 4 years ago we took all the children with us, and we go to the Brazil, because we discover that every 4 years there is international cup for football.
Cup, yes.
3 months before, there is a cup for the street children.
Oh.
And when we went, we found all the country all over the world, Brazil, South Africa, all of them, United States, they are participating in this kind of activities.
That's a very interesting idea.
It was very nice. You cannot imagine one boy of the street, and he found himself with Pepito. I don't know Pepito, who is he? They know.
They know, of course.
When they saw him, Pepito. Who is Pepito? It's a very famous football man from Brazil, and he came, and he just came, and he plays with them, and he write his name on the football. It was an experience you cannot imagine for them. And I have another activity for them. For example, Mr. Selim Sahab, the maestro, he take some of our children, and they have a rehearsal with him in the opera, and they sing in the opera. Could you imagine, one of the street, he went to the opera, and he's singing with Selim Sahab. Of course, it's a very good opportunity to have a new life for them.
Yes.
And with the time, if we find the family, they get back to their family. But we keep them until we reach a good future for them.
Yes. Well, I've made some homework and research about the issue of street children here in Egypt, Mrs. Barada, and I found that we're talking about a bomb that is about to explode, if not actually exploding in the face of the society.
Exactly.
And it has multiple factors.
Yes.
Now, there are types of street children. As you mentioned, there are the type of those children who have been abandoned by the parents, as one or both parents get married, or someone dies, one of the parents dies and the other gets married, and they do not want the children. And the other type are the runaways. They run away from the parents. They do not want to live with the parents anymore for whatever the reason. is.
That's right.
Poverty, violence, all those problems combined together. So when I made my homework, I found out that the younger they are, the more vulnerable they are, and yet they respond faster to care and to institutions like yours or NGOs, while older ones at the age of 10, 12, 13, they are more difficult to deal with, because probably at that age they got used to the life at the street. Yes. They have been abused. Yes. All types of abuse. They are living day by day. Their main aim is to survive the day, not to make a life, not to get educated, not to go to prison, just to survive the rest of the day. It's very painful. When they see people, or when they see women or the society trying to give back to them or trying to help them, sometimes they are cautious about it, because they lost faith in the society, they lost faith in,
that's right.
They lost confidence in everyone, even the closest people to them, and they trust only themselves, or they are by themselves. But others respond, as you said, because if you offer them a meal, they're like, "What do you want from me? You must be wanting to exploit me somehow." Because they get used to this. Because they got used to this, and the problem is even worse with girls, because girls are subject to violation. Subject to rape, to violence, to abuse, and everything. And there are generations of street children. Imagine children giving birth to another generation of street children. It's a huge thing. I've read about it. You know, so
when we began, we were thinking that it's a problem of boys only, but with the time we found suddenly that there is girls. They are coming to us to have activities with us during the day, and they go back and they are wearing clothes of boys, and
shaving their heads.
Shaving their head, and we
pretending
didn't know.
To be boys to protect themselves.
Then after a little bit was discovered that it's not the problem of boys only. As you said, it's also a big problem with a girl also. That's why we did a branch in Muqattam. It's called only for أمهات صغيرات,
young mothers.
Young mother, because they came to us pregnant.
Yes, at the age of 14 or 15. Even younger, oh my God.
Yes. From her father, from her uncle, from her brother, whatever. Yes. She doesn't know even she's pregnant. Yes. And suddenly she said to her friend, I don't know what's happened to me. She said to her, you are pregnant.
And this brings me to a very important question. Now, the people dealing with those children, they must have got some sort of training, qualification.
Yes. We are the first branch to have this kind of how do you call it, services, because they came to us, poor girls, pregnant already, and she doesn't know what to do,
and she can't talk.
She doesn't know what to do.
So the social officer or the social specialist will talk to her and guide her.
Yes, in the beginning, if we know who is the father, we're trying to solve the problem. If we don't know the father, for example, she's raped in the street, for example, we don't know the father, it's another problem. But thanks God, we know how to have a birth certificate now for the child, because as you said, we don't have another generation with no certificate.
Yes. Actually, it's a huge problem, Mrs. Barada. I wish I had more time to talk to you about it. I wish you could come again and
I hope that you come and see in Muqattam.
We will come. We'll try to come and visit you and try to see for ourselves how Egyptian women are doing a great work in helping the society, in helping street children. Great work. Thank you very much, Mrs. Fatma Barada, head of Hope Village for Street Children. Thank you very much for being with us.
I'm waiting for your visit.
Definitely soon, inshallah. And I'd like to thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us. I'm Helen Hamalawi signing off for now.